After suffering family abuse, false imprisonment, 13 years separation, and thoughts of vengeful deception, did Joseph finally come to a place of forgiveness and reconciliation? Do we trust God to reward patient faithfulness after abuse and betrayal? Let's look at Genesis 45. Did Joseph finally tell his brothers the big secret? Was he overcome with emotion? Then Joseph couldn't control himself before all those who stood before him, and he called out, "Cause everyone to go out from me." No one else stood with him, while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. He wept aloud. The Egyptians heard, and the house of Pharaoh heard. Joseph said to his brothers, "I'm Joseph. Does my father still live?" His brothers couldn't answer him, for they were terrified at his presence. Joseph said to his brothers, "Come near to me, please." They came near. He said, "I'm Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt." Was Joseph merciful? Did he see the bigger picture of God's hand working through human failures? Now don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves that you sold me here. Actually, God sent me before you to save lives. We've already had 2 years of famine in the land, and there are 5 years left without planting or harvesting. God sent me before you to make sure you'd survive and to rescue your lives in this amazing way. You didn't send me here. It was God who made me a father to Pharaoh, master of his entire household, and ruler of the whole land of Egypt. What was Joseph's message for his father? Was it going to be a huge surprise? Now hurry back and tell my father that his son Joseph says, "God has made me ruler of Egypt. Come here as quickly as you can. You'll live near me in the region of Goshen with your children and grandchildren, as well as with your sheep, goats, cattle, and everything else you own. I'll take care of you there during the next 5 years of famine. But if you don't come, you and your family and your animals will starve to death. All of you, including my brother Benjamin, can tell by what I've said that I really am Joseph. Tell my father about my great power here in Egypt and about everything you've seen. Hurry and bring him here." After giving these instructions, what did Joseph do? Was Pharaoh pleased? Did Pharaoh promise them land? Then he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck, and he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. After that his brothers talked with him. When the report was heard in Pharaoh's house, "Joseph's brothers have come," it pleased Pharaoh and his servants. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Say to your brothers, do this, load your beasts and go back to the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households and come to me, and I'll give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you shall eat the fat of the land. And you, Joseph, are commanded to say, do this, take wagons from the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Have no concern for your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours." How did Joseph help his brothers prepare for the journey to bring their father to Egypt? The sons of Israel did this. Joseph gave them wagons as Pharaoh had commanded, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave each of the brothers changes of clothes, but he gave Benjamin 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of clothes. He sent his father the following: 10 donkeys carrying the best products of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys carrying grain, food, and provisions for his father on the journey. So Joseph sent his brothers on their way, and as they were leaving, he said to them, "Don't argue on the way." Was Israel overjoyed at the news? Was he anxious to see Joseph? So Joseph's brothers left Egypt and returned to the land of Canaan, and to their father Jacob, where they informed their father, "Joseph is still alive. As a matter of fact, he's ruling the entire land of Egypt." But Jacob didn't believe them because he'd become cynical. However, as soon as his sons had told him everything Joseph had said, and after he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent along to carry him, their father Jacob's spirit was encouraged. "It's enough," Israel replied. "My son Joseph is still alive. I'm going to see him before I die." After suffering family abuse, false imprisonment, 13 years separation, and thoughts of vengeful deception, did Joseph finally come to a place of forgiveness and reconciliation? Do we trust God to reward patient faithfulness after abuse and betrayal? You decide.